So I've been in Manchester for a handful of hours and I'm starving and I'm trying to be as inconspicuous as possible. So I got this little booth just by myself and maybe you can recognize the restaurant. But I looked on Happy Cow and I tried to find like one of the best restaurants I could. And actually this restaurant had its own color. I've never seen that before. It might be like a new feature with Happy Cow, but basically it was like multicolored and I looked into it and apparently that means it's like the top rated restaurant in a major city. So I have very high hopes for this restaurant. I can really only go down from here. And if you're wondering, this restaurant is called Purezza, I don't know. It's a vegan Italian pizza shop. And I love pizza. Okay, so this pizza came out like 5 minutes later. She said it only takes like a minute and a half to cook. I was astounded, first of all, because I was expecting to wait like 20 minutes. And this just looks gorgeous. This is just a beautiful pizza. I did not bring a tripod, so we are doing the best with what we got. So we're gonna do the 1 bite challenge, which of course means that we're gonna do more than 1 bite. So she was telling me this is not just a pepperoni pizza, it's like a pepperoni agave, which is interesting because it's like the salty and sweet, but I am a person who really loves pineapple on pizza, so I actually really like salty and sweet pizzas. This is really good. I don't think I've ever had like a sourdough pizza before, so this is definitely recommend. So that pizza was just phenomenal. A little bit spicy. If you can't handle spice, maybe omit this very, very thinly sliced jalapeno peppers. So I'm pretty good with spice. I felt that it was fine, but just be aware of that if you do order that particular pizza. But overall, I thought the restaurant was fantastic. The prices were really great. The service was really great. Food came out really fast. It was very just aesthetically pleasing in that restaurant. But now I've been able to check into my apartment. This is where I'm gonna be staying for the next couple days while I'm in Manchester. I had time to shower, finally take a little bit of rest because I am exhausted from the flight, but I've also worked up some more appetite, so I'm gonna go to the next place we're gonna eat, although right now is kind of like prime time eating hours. The reason I was actually able to get some decent footage in the restaurant because I went at like 2 p.m. and like almost nobody was in there, but I feel like any restaurant I go to now is gonna be packed. So I'm probably gonna be a little more discreet, maybe get some B-roll on my phone and we'll convene afterwards. Thank you, you are loved. What a wholesome thing to write from Wholesome Junkies. I decided to record at home because it was very busy in there. There was like nowhere to sit, and I didn't really feel comfortable just talking about my food to a camera when there's a bunch of people around. But I got some mac and cheese. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, lots of jalapenos in there. Some kind of like breadcrumb looking things. Make sure it doesn't focus on my face. And so the reason that I went to Wholesome Junkies is because the waitress at the last restaurant recommended it. I posted on my Instagram story that I was in Manchester and like 2 other people recommended it. And it was the 2nd highest rated restaurant in Manchester on Happy Cow, which has so far not done me wrong. And so this is the burger. I went with the truffle burger. Ooh, look at that. That is a sexy burger. I feel like I should just barely unwrap it because I feel like it might fall apart if I just try to eat it without the wrapper. Okay, gonna go in. Oh, there's onion rings in here. Usually when I go to restaurants, I don't order a burger, but this is really, really good. It's just like, it's like very complex because there's like a lot going on in here. I think they have their own house-made mayo. I gotta take another bite. And they didn't get any napkins, so I might be just washing my face in the sink when I'm done with this because I'm getting all over my face, so just gotta bear with me. But you can see like the caramelized onions in there. There's onion rings. Like I said, they're house-made mayo. And they're a beef patty. I think that's like a banana pepper or something. There's a lot going on, but it's not like too much. They chose a category and they just went deep into that category. But this is a phenomenal burger. This is probably one of the best burgers that I've had in a while. Okay, let me take a face washing break and we'll test out the mac and cheese. So far, Manchester is looking really good on the food front, and it's making my hometown just look stupid. Okay, so we have, like I said, the jalapenos. I believe these are like breadcrumbs or something. Let me zoom in a little bit. Might cut off my face, but you're here for the food anyway, because I want you to be able to see the details in here. So yeah, like I said, breadcrumbs, jalapenos. Looks like maybe some kind of like ranch or something with the mac and cheese. Yeah, both of these I feel like they just went for kind of like a complex flavor profile. Like there's just a lot going on. There's like mac and cheese and ranch and jalapenos and breadcrumbs and probably a bunch of other spices that I'm not even picking up, but that are totally just bringing this all together. But like I said, they just seem like they wanted complex, but they also went like deep into one category. It's not like all over the place. So this is very, very good. Let me take another bite of this mac and cheese. That ranch type thing on there is, you're like kind of brings it together, and then like just a little bit of spice from the jalapeno. Oh my God, Manchester, you did it again. I might like this more than the pizza one. The pizza was really good, but this might be better. So breakfast today absolutely slapped. I went to Hampton Vouis, I think it's French. And I've found that breakfast is often like the hardest meal to find vegan. So if you have been to Manchester and have any breakfast recommendations, please leave them below. But today I got probably the sweetest breakfast I've ever had in my life. It was a Biscoff French toast, and it was basically just dessert. And I also got a Biscoff cup, which was just basically like a big kind of like peanut butter cup-esque, but filled with Biscoff. But if you love sweet breakfast, this is a really, really good spot. I think they also had some savory options, but they had a lot of sweet options, which I'm very, very into. I love sweet breakfast. They had a really, really good latte, and the whole restaurant was just very aesthetically pleasing. The people working there were super nice, and so far, I've only had one breakfast in Manchester, but this was a really, really good one. But now that I've had some food and I had some energy from that latte, it's time to go work out so that I can make room for more food. So lunch was recommended by you guys, as well as very highly recommended on Happy Cow. I went there right after my workout, and they did not skimp on the high protein, either seitan or soy curls or whatever it was. It was definitely packed full of flavor, but I will say that it was not my favorite food so far, with the caveat that I don't usually love Mediterranean or Middle Eastern food, but it was so highly rated, and a bunch of you guys told me to check it out. Even for someone who doesn't love Mediterranean food, it was still pretty good, but just not as good as the other foods that I've tried, because those are definitely more of my cuisine style. Like, I love Italian food, Asian food, any sort of classic junk food, comfort food, and definitely desserts, which is why I loved their cheesecake. It was just like very crumbly with the crust. It's a very good cheesecake. So if you're really into Mediterranean food, I think you would actually really like What the Pitta. So I will definitely be giving What the Pitta an honorable mention, but speaking of honorable mentions, I'll also give one to the Corn Exchange, which I think is just a very funny name. But it's basically a giant food court. None of the options seemed particularly mind-blowing, but also every restaurant had at least a handful of vegan options. So if you're traveling with some picky meat eaters or people who just can't pick which restaurant to go to, the Corn Exchange is great because there's Greek food, Indian, Vietnamese, Italian, like you name it, they've got it, and there's always at least something vegan. So if you really can't decide which restaurant to go to, this is a good one, makes everyone happy. The next day I was in a bit of a hurry because I had a boat tour around Manchester that I booked for a specific time, so I decided to check out a vegan fast food place called Vegan Shack since I was in a hurry. I got a chicken burger, which was very crispy in a good way, but other than that, it was like a little basic. Maybe I spoiled myself too early with Wholesome Junkies, but what really shined here was the wings. The wings were like fall apart tender.
Those are good. Those are really good.
And like so flavorful, and they did not skimp on the sauce. So especially if you're in a hurry, this is a great option, or if you're just in the mood for some great wings, this is also a great option.
I'll take it that way.
Alright.
Pretty,
Thanks.
Put the heart the right way up.
Yeah. I've got a magnetic phone case. We're gonna put you guys right on this pole. We're gonna do this taste test. So this was from Ice Shack. I have there's like a raspberry. Whoa, this is slipping. So I got like a raspberry and a strawberry cheesecake scoops with some Biscoff sauce. And there's these cookie that I've never heard of before. I think it's like kind of more common here in the UK. So I'll give that a try. Okay, I feel like I've had this flavor before of cookie. It's kind of like jam in the middle of a cookie. I'm getting used to this Biscoff sauce. It's definitely different than, we don't really have this in the US. It looks caramely, but it just tastes like those Biscoff cookies that you get in the airplanes. That was definitely a strawberry cheesecake scoop. And so this one must be the raspberry scoop that I got. So I got raspberry and strawberry cheesecake. Yeah, these are very distinct flavors. They're really nailed the flavors. This is really good. This is a good combo, honestly. Definitely check out Ice Shack if you are in Manchester. Ice Shack was so good that I'm going to do another lamppost review. So this is the carrot cake. It's kind of got thrown around my box, but that's my bad, not them. So there's a little carrot right on top. So we're gonna see how this is. I was like, hey, do you have any recommendations or any favorites? And he said, carrot cake's pretty high up on the list. I was like, it was high up on my list. So I was hoping you'd say that. So high hopes. That's a good carrot cake. I like carrot cake. It's not my favorite, but this is a really good one. It's probably the first or maybe second best carrot cake I've ever had. The other one being in Lake Placid in the Adirondacks in upstate New York, on this place called Big Slide. They make a really good carrot cake. Really good vegan carrot cake. One of the only vegan desserts that I've ever found in the Adirondacks. They're very good. All right, on to the next review.
So then, so we've got folding wheelchair off an hour.
Oh my god, this looks stupid good. Holy, I have never heard of this before. Barbecued ribs on mac and cheese, and then there's also some buffalo wings over here with I think a homemade house ranch sauce. Well, it's getting steamy on the lens. It's going to be very precariously balanced on top of my phone charger and a fork. This is my homemade tripod. There we go. So, let's dig into mac and cheese first. I saw this on Happy Cow, the restaurant anyway. I didn't know about this actual bowl, which I saw this. I was like, this is very up my alley. Because people ask me before, what do I miss from going vegan? The only thing I've ever really missed, food-wise, because like the main thing is the convenience, but the only thing I ever miss food-wise is like ribs. So, this looks awesome. Smells good. Smells very nuchy. First bite. And that's definitely kind of nuchy. All right, now let's take a bite with the mac, with the ribs. That's a good combo. Mac and cheese is good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. But like with the seitan ribs, it's so good. They're probably some of the best seitan ribs I've had though. I've had some seitan ribs at a restaurant near me. Not as good as this. The sauce on the ribs is very good, and like the ribs themselves, it's very tender and very falling apart-y. I don't know if you can. I don't know how well you can really see that. You gotta make sure my face is not in it, but I believe it's seitan. I think that looks good. That kind of looks like ribs, honestly. So now I'll try the buffalo wings. She said there's about 16 coming here. She said there's a lot of them. So she also said they're very small because she told me 16. I was like, 16? I'm not that hungry. But that's what they look like. Well, I mean, with all the ranch and everything. Let me get my face out of here so then maybe you can focus on it. But let's see. The sauce is super good. I like it nice and tender. That's really good. See the cross section looks like. I believe this is also seitan. Yeah, this looks kind of similar. Looks kind of similar to the ribs. So I'm assuming that's also seitan. Really good. The ranch is good. The sauce is good. Very tender. Seitan. This is really good. Both the seitan products are definitely my favorites. I'm back now from my Manchester food tour, and if you couldn't tell in the video, I had an amazing time in Manchester. But now for the awards. For breakfast, first place is absolutely going to Hampton Vouis. For dessert, like just dessert, my pick is Ice Shack, although I had a lot of great desserts while I was in the UK. For mac and cheese, it's definitely going to Wholesome Junkies. I went to London as well, and that still stood up as the best mac and cheese. And for best all around, it was a close tie between Purezza and Wholesome Junkies, but I think Wholesome Junkies is gonna take the W this time. So if you're going to Manchester, UK anytime soon, I hope this video helped you out. And if I missed any amazing restaurants, please comment below anything that I missed.